Hello, it's an honor to be here. I would like to thank Mr. Sfandos and Mr. Toumazatos for the invitation.
Hi, thank you for having us. I am Thanos Sarris. I'm Executive Secretary General of PSAPP, the Greek Players Union. And before we begin our discussions on today's topic, I would like to state that PSAPP will always stand by women football players and against those that, for their own reasons, want to maintain the dysfunctions and problems that exist in the current framework in women's football in Greece. We've heard a lot of interesting things, but looks like a parallel universe to us, because here in Greece there are still some minds, let's say, some forces that want to hold this evolution back. So let's come back to our topic, and I will start with some questions to Mr. Kakavas in order to get this forward. So first of all, I would like to mention some highlights from a recent report that over 4,000 injuries in Europe's top 5 leagues last season. Could you set the stage for us, and how does this compare to previous year, and what does this trend tell us?
Hello again. This is the Howden report analysis. The Howden report take part every year in UK and analyzes the impact of injuries, not in the health of the player, but on the economical impact for the clubs. So we can see on the numbers that we have almost 4,000 injuries, more than 4,000 injuries in the top 5 European leagues, which make a 4% increase than the previous year. But this is not so true, because the biggest problem, which is muscle strains, they have increased 8%. And they increase every year since 2001, that UEFA make the UEFA injury study. So we know now all the injuries, they have increased 4%, but the problem with the muscle strains, which is global, the percentage is 8%. And the total cost for player wages for it is more than 700 million. The 4 years that Howden report is out, the cost for the clubs is 2.3 billion euros. It's a huge amount of money.
And how do clubs absorb or mitigate such economic shocks?
The clubs, they have many ways to mitigate this. They make better insurance plans, but the issue is the injury prevention strategies. Before 2 years, we had a publication in British Journal of Sports Medicine, because we know the last 10 years, from 2015, that the injury prevention programs, they work a lot. They mitigate, they reduce injuries. We cannot make injuries zero in a contact sport like football, but we can reduce them dramatically. So the clubs, the top-tier clubs, they don't adopt injury prevention programs. So they have a very tough schedule. The trainings are at minimum effort, so they don't adopt injury prevention programs.
And this report, the Howden report, spotlighted knee injuries as the most expensive category. You talked about muscle, but here, because we're talking about economics, there are more than 140 million, I think, regarding ACL and knee injuries.
This is normal, because in the knee injuries, we have the ACL injury, the most devastating injury for a football player, either woman or man. So that's why the costs for the knee injuries is so high. Again, we know with neuromuscular control and neuromuscular rehab programs, we can reduce the ACL injuries. In US, they have make great efforts regarding this issue. In Europe, we work a lot. The FIFA, the UEFA, they make a lot of clinical guidelines regarding ACL, and we hope in the next seasons we will have less. I think the last UEFA injury study, we have a reduction about 1% in the knee injuries and ACL injuries.
Okay. There is also research that shows that women are significantly more likely than men to suffer ACL injuries, and recovery can be longer and more complex. From your perspective, what are the main factors behind this risk, and what can clubs and governing bodies can do to address it?
The issue with the women, we have a lot of more ACL injuries than men. So in the latest report said it's six times more than men. And the factors, it's a multifactorial issue problem because we have hormonal issues. So the laxity of the joints when a woman have a period, these 4, 5, 1 week days, we have a lot of laxity in the joints. So increased laxity, it's danger for an injury. We have problems, anatomical problems, because the angle between the pelvis, the hip, and the knee is greater in women, is bigger in women. We have problems, technical issues. We have such issues that we need to make awareness regarding women injury prevention as a special problem in sports medicine.
Do you feel that there are patterns of underinvestment, lack of research regarding what you said, regarding women's injury?
Women football clubs, they don't have such money or funds to invest in sports medicine and injury prevention. This is very well known. In Greece, we have a big problem regarding this. PSAPP tries to make awareness. Last Monday, they make a movie regarding the problems of the women football in Greece. A very interesting movie. Of course, we have a big gap between women football clubs and men clubs. When a big club have like a women club together, maybe there the knowledge and the doctors from the men club, they can help the women club too.
Mm-hmm. Fixture congestion and overloaded schedules come up recently by FIFPro and PSAPP here in Greece. In your view, what reforms, whether at the league or governing body levels, needed? And is there also a similar issue in women's football?
I think the schedule in women's football is less than the men do. In the men, we have a big problem now. We have exhausted players with mental health problems, injuries, tired people. They flying around the globe to play. We saw this summer we had the World Cup Club Cup. Then they come back. They play for the leagues, for the Cup, for the Champions League, for the Europa League. I think the schedule is devastating. We need, especially the FIFPro and PSAPP in Greece, to take initiatives. And the FIFPro now, I think last week, they have a new report regarding this, which is very, very serious initiative regarding the schedule and the congestive schedule.
Mm-hmm. One study from Sweden, I think, from the Swedish women team, showed that clubs' budgets significantly affect how much they invest in data analytics, which in turn influences injury risk monitoring and decision-making. Do you observe a correlation between clubs' financial capacity or league tire and injury rates?
I think it's not true, because it's a matter of strategy. When you are in a club with less money, I think it's a very good strategy to invest money to your player welfare, your player wellness, health, and of course, when your players are available for your coach, you will have better results. So I think it's a matter of strategy, not money, because all the sports tech thing, like analytics, GPS, and all the things we use today to track and monitor player health, it's not so expensive. It's a matter of strategy, not matter of capital.
So you can manage your financial, let's say, power in order to prevent.
Yeah, you can invest on that, because we see a lot of teams to invest in transfers with huge money, but they don't invest in sports tech and injury prevention too. So I'm telling to the Greek club owners that with one transfer less, you can invest in sports tech and injury prevention for years.
In people also?
In people also, yeah. Always people make the difference, because the machines, sorry about that, they are stupid. You must analyze the results, and you must make interpretation of the results to inform the coach, to inform the president of the club, the stakeholders, what your strategy is. I think we see a lot of clubs with very good machines, very good computers, but the people behind it must interpret the results.
There is also another alarming finding in the Howden report regarding under-21 injuries, which I think it has risen almost 200% into 5 years. Why are younger players suffering more severe injuries despite better training and monitoring systems?
Because they're not ready for this level. So we have now a trend, young players to play in big clubs like Yamal, for example, in Barcelona. But these players, they're not, their body and their mental status is not ready for this congestive schedule. A lot of games, very competitive games, especially in Champions League. So we have an alarming rising percentage of injuries in these ages. So we need, like women, we need especially a new strategy for injury prevention, injury reduction in young players.
And young women players?
Yeah, of course.
So, I mean, because you mentioned that the body is not ready, the same happens with women.
Same thing, yeah, but because the problem is we have a different strategy with the young players in Europe, Asia, and US. In US, the first thing the coaches do is to create an athlete. So after the age of 12, maybe 13, 14, they pick up according their body, according their height or weight or speed. They going to specializing in a sport. In Europe, it's totally different. First, we create footballers, basketballers, handballers, and then we create athletes. So these young men, they're going to play without to be ready. So we have a lot of devastating injuries. We have a lot of injuries of ACL in age of 16. If you suffer an ACL in 16, that means you will have problems with your joint, like post-traumatic arthrosis all of your life. So it's a very serious problem.
Okay, you mentioned before the human factor and the stupidity of the machines, but I want to return to that because we live in the era of AI and data analytics. And looking ahead, what role do you see that wearable tech or AI predicting and preventing models can play in injuries?
I'm a huge fan of sports tech and health tech. I'm a founder of a startup in Greece too. I have created my first machine learning for injury prevention 10 years ago. So I'm a huge fan. The issue is that now we have a lot of technologies and hypes around AI. So we must choose the best tools to reduce injuries. And the best tools is the tools that we are sure that working, that we need clinical trials, very good clinical trials, like the trials they do in pharmaceutical companies. The pharmaceutical companies, they do very good clinical trials. If we have good clinical trials regarding the tools, this is the best. The sports tech, the technology is a great help for us, for doctors and sports physios. A great thing we work now in Greece is a digital twin. I don't know if you know what is a digital twin. Digital twin is an AI tool. So it's a digital athlete that you can simulate on this athlete everything. Nutrition, training, rehab, everything you can simulate on this digital athlete. You can take the results and then you can do the same on the human. It's a very interesting, we live in very interesting times regarding the technology.
And if you had to recommend one immediate step that clubs could take tomorrow to reduce injury costs, to come back to the economics, what would it be? It would be prevention? This is a magic word?
Well, the magic word is prevention, but which prevention? we start asking which prevention, which program works. So till now, we have a lot of studies that the FIFA 11 program works. So because now the FIFA 11, it has more exercises. It has exercises for hitting, for neck strength, because women have suffer a lot of concussions. The concussion is the new crisis for the women's health now in football. FIFA and UEFA have created special boards for concussion. It's a big problem. A lot of people, they don't know. PSAPP tries to inform coaches and players regarding this serious injury because you can have big problems in the future. And women, because again, from anatomical standpoint, because they have not very good strength on the neck. The technique of the hitting is so good. So they suffer concussions, and this is an injury because you don't have pain, you don't have swelling, you can walk, but it's an underdiagnosed situation. We have data that women, they report concussion more than men. The men go, okay, I'm okay, coach, let's play. Okay, but they have dizziness, balance problems, sleep problems, memory problems. They cannot concentrate a lot. So this is something new. We must solve it fast.
And how we can solve it fast?
Injury prevention programs. As I said,
education,
of course,
awareness.
Education, awareness, and as we know, I think FIFA 11 is not for professional clubs. It's elementary. But we have created in UEFA and FIFA, we have created injury prevention programs, special exercises for injury mitigation. So if the clubs, they put those programs in their weekly schedule. So the research says that twice per week is okay. So it's about 2 hours per week. But I think, again, the schedule, the travel, all these things, the coaches, they need more information and more awareness regarding injury prevention programs.
And I believe the whole team, the whole management team, and the decision makers should listen to what Greek players, who have some of them here with us that have played abroad, can tell them, because it's like they're finding out some, there is not only technology but also knowledge behind injury prevention, and that in sometimes maybe we haven't heard of it here.
Yeah, so the federation, the league, the players' union, the PSAPP must raise awareness regarding this. The problem is not only financial. It's financial because you pay for a player who is on the bench. You pay more for insurance costs. You lose matches because you don't have your best player in the team. And of course, the biggest problem is the player welfare.
Okay, so to sum it up?
To sum it up, we need more evidence-based injury prevention programs to reduce injury cost, and we have more happy and healthy players in the modern football.
Okay, we have 5 minutes. I don't know if there's any question.
Yeah, I do have one.
Okay.
I think professionalization in women's football is quite recent. It's like 10 years at the most, and training skills are developing constantly, and the preparation and everything around that. I think that with I think that we don't know yet what women can do. I think that with proper preparation and training and with the development of the infrastructure for women, I think that we will be surprised. And how do you place the research part in that? And do we need really a global initiative that benefit to everyone rather than having countries or, strong countries doing more? How do we work together on that, actually?
As I said before, it's not about a strong country or a weak one. It's a matter of strategy. I think some small countries, they have make injury prevention programs because their scientists and the federation and the leagues, they have agreed that it is something they need. So I think it's not a matter of money. It's not so expensive thing to start doing injury prevention exercises or adopt a sports tech for the team. This is an investment for your players' health. So,
yeah, the part that requires investment is understand women's body, because we don't know everything about women's body.
No, I think we are in 21st century. We know a lot.
Yeah.
It's more complicated than men, especially on the mental side. But we know a lot. That's why we are trying to reduce the factors that lead to injuries. We know a lot.
Okay, thank you.
I guess it's more a matter of mentality, attitude, and strategic decisions than money.
Indeed. Yes.
Just listening to the very basic facts that are there. We know, and we've known it for 20 years, 10 years. We've known it right along that, you know, women's bodies are, during their cyclical times, they're more prone to injuries. Yet we still see this gross incidence that costs us economically and it costs the players themselves. Dropping the data in is one thing, acting is another. And, you know, I listen with some frustration because I see so much of this actually happening. Concussion, injury prevention, these are basic facts. So when do we get these facts into coaching? Because that's where it belongs. You know, we kind of need the leagues to take it up, but we also need the clubs and the coaches to know these basic facts to say, okay, we know this happens at this time. Not as a key point of difference or to segregate women, but to say our bodies work differently. So, you know, basic facts don't have white shorts for women. Like, it's like, you know, still trying to fight for, why do we still have white shorts for women? You know, why are these girls still struggling, pulling at their pants at different times? I mean, I think that this is something that's archaic and we need to change it. We are a skills-based population. We are looking at the skills. We have enormous skills. Looking and listening to the history of football is fantastic. When can we get on with the actual, here are the facts, let's do it differently?
I know we agree with that. I think everything you said is okay, yeah.
It costs money. When can we stop?
As I told, it's not about the money. I think it's about awareness and strategy. It's not about money. It's not so expensive.
Mindset.
Mindset.
It's mindset well-being. I mean, I come from that space. I'm very psychologist, but I still think it's archaic.
I just have a follow-up from that. You've mentioned into coaching, but also into parents as well, because well, this is in men's football, but again, it could be a case in women's football. So my son was playing football. There was one of the players who went down. He continued playing at the time. At the end of the game, I was waiting for my son and with his mum, and he came to his mum and said, "I've got a headache. I'm not feeling well." And this is after a head injury. And the mum went, "Don't tell them. Do you know how long you'll be out for?" So again, parent education is really important. And like you said, when do we start? You know, it's about the bigger system, and it's about educating the coaches, the players, the parents, so everyone.
I agree with you. The issue with the concussion is when we suffer an injury, the next day or after 2 days, we will make an MRI to see how big the injury is, okay? It's a total rupture or semi-rupture. Mm-hmm. With the concussion, we don't... You don't know. No. So we have some tools like SCAT6 now, or CRT6 for coaches. So we make a procedure with those tests, with those tools, to understand what is happening with the concussion. And because the concussion is something very complicated, it's not say I have a pain, it's complicated with a lot of different symptoms. The rehabilitation is very crucial for return to sport, and if we have a young person to return to learn, because those kids, they have struggle in school too. No one tell...
I did say to the parent, you know the consequences.
Yeah.
And this is the important part of it, is the consequences.
Sorry to interrupt, but I don't want to be that person again because... but we do have to move on again. We've got plenty of time in the afternoon for plenty of networking and plenty of questions. We just have a backlog of panels that we do need to get through, and we do have lunch at some point today.
Thank you.
So a round of applause, that was fascinating.
Thank you.